You're listening to the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse at bellydancegeek.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Nadira Jamal, and welcome to episode 14 of the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse. The Clubhouse is a place where dancers can get together and get all that information that's hard to get in classes and on DVDs. It's really easy to find information about the what, so things like moves and choreography and combinations, but it's a lot harder to get help with the why and the how, so things like musicality and culture, dance composition, and all the other wonderful things that make dance what it is. So every month, I'm going to interview a different guest expert on a geeky topic, and we'll have plenty of time for question and answer, so you can geek out too. So if you think knowledge and creativity go together like chocolate and peanut butter, you are in the right place. My guest today is Oreet, and she's the founder of SharQui, the belly dance workout, and also a 5-time Belly Dance Award winner. She'll give you tips today to help you learn how to win competitions, and also explain how competitions helped her promote herself, and how sometimes it's not about winning that counts. So if you'd like more information about Oreet, you can check her out at SharQui.com, spelled SharQui.com. Oreet is also the very first guest to make a repeat appearance on the Clubhouse, so it's also exciting to have her there for that reason. So welcome, Oreet.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, and thanks for coming back.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
So to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your history with competitions?
Okay, yeah. Well, I began in 2004 with Belly Dancer of the Year, and since 2004 till 2007, I've done 10 competitions, and I won 5 of them. And I think back then I was probably one of the first East Coasters to actually travel to West Coast competitions. So being one of the first and having West Coast competition judges not see so much of East Coast style or just even a different style entirely was a real asset for me.
So can you tell us about some of the competitions that you participated in?
Yeah, sure. So I've competed in belly dance. Well, the ones that I've won were Belly Dancer of the Year, Medina, and that's the acronym for Middle Eastern Dance Champion of North America, Jewel of the Nile from New Jersey, Belly Dance Diva of Boston, as you know, and Entertainer of the Year from Reno, Nevada. They were all really great experiences. And the ones that I did not win were Belly Dance Superstars competition, one Jewel of the Nile, because I did Jewel of the Nile twice. I also did Belly Dancer of the Year twice. In 2000, the first one was in 2004, and there was a Las Vegas belly dance competition that I didn't win, that I got first runner-up, but that only happened once, that they had that production, but then they didn't have it again.
Gotcha. Now, Jewel of the Nile has a special place in my heart because that's the only time that you and I have been in a room together. So
yeah.
It was Jewel of the Nile in 2008. It was the year after you won, so you were judging, and I was participating. So I don't think we actually met, but we were in the room together. So that's
funny.
So you've clearly got a lot of experience with competitions, and I'd like to dig into some of your expertise tonight in asking people to think about why they might want to compete and also preparing and doing a good job. So
Gotcha.
Why don't we start with, looking into whether competitions are right for someone. So what are some of the benefits of competitions or why people might want to do it?
Well, the reason why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to promote myself other than on the East Coast. So it was a great way to promote. I also wanted to network with other dancers. Being already a teacher on the East Coast, it was really hard to, have a mentor or have someone judge you or have someone just, judge you and perfect your craft. So it was a way for me to perfect my craft on stage in front of an audience and to get critiques from judges.
I've heard
those
that a
were
lot.
the benefits for me.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the feedback aspect. And, I've competed 4 times, but it was only in 2 different competitions. So my experience with what kind of feedback you get is pretty limited. Do you find that you get a lot of detailed feedback or quick responses, or does it vary?
I find the best feedback I got was from Belly Dancer of the Year. Even though it was quick, but it was very to the point. And the producer actually coached us on how to judge and critique. So, which is because I was a judge at Belly Dancer of the Year, so I'm sure that's why they give really great critiques because of the coaching. Sorry, did I answer your question? Sorry.
You did, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, yeah, and so, a lot of people when they think about competing are thinking about the title, right? I want to win this thing.
Right,
so,
right.
What are some of the biggest benefits for somebody who, isn't necessarily expecting to win? Or, why might people want to do it even besides?
Right, absolutely.
Well,
if you're not expecting to win, or if you don't win and you wanted to win, it's okay because you got yourself out there. Yeah, because while you're there, you're able to distribute your business cards, you're able to practice your craft, etc. Able to just be in front of an audience. You're able to use the space, practice using space, which is really important. Mm-hmm. So and sometimes people feel that the winner shouldn't have won. Sometimes people think the third runner-up should have won. So it. Either way, it's good because you got yourself out there and you got yourself seen. Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned networking a little bit earlier. One of the things that surprised me about competitions, is how many people travel. The first one that I did a couple of times, was here in Boston, and there was a lady who came from Texas and all kinds of other places, and it was just such a great experience to meet somebody else from outside my community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure, I'm sure other people are traveling because maybe they feel that the judges may want to see something new. Of course, you're going to have a lot of your local dancers come in and compete, but then you're going to have some of these underdogs who are coming in. People don't know their style, and bam, wow, they're bringing something new to the table. So that could be an advantage for someone to travel to a competition. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And are there any downsides to competing or anything that you should watch out for if you're thinking about going into competitions?
I feel there aren't any downsides. Possibly, let me just think. No, I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's any downside to competing. If you're a sensitive person and you're not able to take criticism, or if you don't win, or if you're sore, then that would be a downside for you. But as far as in general competing, I don't think it's a downside at all. Mm-hmm. There is one at all.
And there are any mindsets or anything that could make it a more negative experience than a positive one? Anything that people should be watching out for in themselves besides being sensitive to criticism?
Don't go in there without any expectations. Try not to say, "Oh, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win." Like me personally, I'm a competitive person, but I'm competitive with myself. If someone is great and I didn't win and they won, and I know why they won, for sure I'm going to go up to them and say, "Wow, you did a great job. This was great. That was great." But go in positive. Go in saying, "I'm going to get something out of this, and whether I win or lose, I'm already ahead of the game."
Mm-hmm. And if somebody's never competed before, but they're thinking about it, how can they tell if that's something that's right for them, if it's something that's worth doing in their case?
Well, if you're someone who's in need of critique or doesn't have a mentor to help them with their craft, that's a reason why they should probably compete. Some people are just also competitive. They find it to be a thrill. Or maybe some people just don't really get a chance to perform in their area. So that would be a real benefit for people on why they should perform.
Yeah. When I signed up for Jewel of the Nile, my big thought was that I wanted something very, very public that would be kind of a training incentive. Right, so my idea was when I go in to do that, I'm going to do this one thing really well. And as it happened, I came down with my first dancing injury in training for that, so I didn't get to do any of what I planned. But it was still a really helpful thing to have this clear goal with this external accountability. Right, I didn't tell anybody what my goal was, but I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming up on that date in November, and that I had to be ready.
Right. Oh, it's funny. What was it that you hurt yourself? What movement?
I was teaching in class. I was teaching hip bumps, so the big side-to-side movement with a weight shift, and I wasn't stopping it with my butt cheek like I was telling my students to do in class. But they were doing so well, and I was so excited that I was putting way more energy into it than I should have. So and then I kept doing it, which was the real problem.
Yeah.
But
If I may just continue on that question you had asked on when you were asked how can you tell if competing is right for you. I also knew for me competing was right was because when I was getting ready for competition, I studied my fellow contestants. Back then in the day, like 2004, 2005, back in the day, that's funny, they would actually post who will be competing. And sometimes they also even post, who the judges will be. I would literally go and study their performances. What I liked about them, what I didn't like, what they were doing, what I wasn't doing, I would also study the previous winner from the previous year. I studied why they won based on the other contestants from the previous year. So that's how I knew that I was ready to compete. Also, I would study the judges. I would study their styles. And yet, you know what? And yet, you should really be you when you're competing. And again, this is just my experience. I felt for me what also worked was to know who your judges will be. Because, people are going to judge you on what you're doing, right? But also, dance is subjective, right? They are going to judge whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? You could do a Maya really, really well and execute it beautifully. But one judge might not like Mayas. It might just subconsciously give you a lower score. So if that's just my 2 cents. But I would say, though, you bringing in your originality and giving the best that you can, of course, outweighs the studying of the judges, though. I have
to agree with you on that. Again, I've only had a couple competitions, and they were local mostly. But, that was definitely a big mistake that I made early on was, I felt like the kind of routine that would win a competition was Egyptian style. And that's not my style. And so I was trying to, move more in the elements of, well, this is what will win, instead of just doing the best dance that I could. And I have some more related questions about that in a sec. But before I go too far down that one, I want to ask about, how can you tell if a particular competition is a good fit for you, either in style or level or what they value and what they emphasize?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, if you're an advanced dancer, Egyptian, Turkish style, you might want to go for a competition that has less categories. For example, when I say categories that have like, rising star or tribal or a prop category. Because when I was competing, competitions did not have categories, maybe 1 or 2. They would always have the belly dance, category, or the grand category, which was for, I guess, dancers over 45 years of age. And that's it. And just recently, competitions have started to, implement categories. But yeah, I guess now it's easier to choose one based on how many categories they have. Of course, if you're more of an amateur dancer and they offer a rising star category, that competition is right for you. If you're an advanced dancer looking to really promote yourself and get out there, I would say Belly Dancer of the Universe or Belly Dancer of the Year is the right one for you. So.
And for, let's say there's a competition that you've never heard of. Are there any techniques for kind of scoping it out and figuring out whether the level of style might be something suitable for you?
I guess see how long they've been in business. make sure you can navigate their website and make sure the website is user-friendly, because you can also tell how probably that event is run. Yeah, that's very, very important. There, in 2 belly dance competitions I didn't compete for because I just couldn't get their website, and I didn't understand it, so that's why I never competed. But I think those are the 2 big things that I would look for.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say you signed up for a competition and you're ready to start, planning what you're doing. So, but then we get into this whole area of strategy. So how is performing in a competition different from giving a regular show?
Okay. Well, I would say for the most part, you're probably going to be competing on a stage for the most part. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be probably in a conference room, with the audience about 10 feet in front of you, but it'll be a big space. And I would say along with that, the biggest difference is how you're dancing. If you're a restaurant dancer and you're used to small, confined spaces, you know that you can't be dancing that way at a competition, right? And for me, when I'm at a competition and I am on a stage and let's say there is a balcony, I'm always expanding and I'm dancing to the balcony. And me especially being a petite person, I've always been taught to dance big. So that's why I also loved competition, because it was a venue that I could do it at, dance big and practice that. And especially being a modern dancer in New York City for, 10 years and being rejected and trying to be seen, that was something that I always had to work on. So that is why I really loved competitions, really using that space and dancing big. And I think that's a big difference than dancing in a regular show.
Now, when I was thinking about my own sets, one thing that felt very different. Oh, excuse me, my cat is going crazy. I don't know if you heard that. She left.
Nope.
All right. So, when I was coming into competitions for the first time, I had already been doing full-length sets at restaurants. So, it's small dance floor, so not the between tables thing. But I was used to like a 25-minute set at this point, and so, my sense of pacing was, let's spend a good 2 minutes just letting everybody get to see you and sparkle, and then you get into your good stuff. And when I brought it down into this short competition set, I felt like I had a tough time balancing, these very old school, let the show unfold tastes with the need to wow it fast. Do you have any tips around that?
Yeah, because your competition piece, of course, is not going to be 25 minutes. Most likely will be 5 to 10 minutes, right? I would say a balanced performance is best. And a balanced performance consists of, and this is my formula that worked for me. Of course, there are people who are exceptions that done something totally different in one. But what worked for me is, let's say for a 10-minute piece, I would do a 3-minute intro, which would be a medium-paced song. Not fast, not slow, kind of like welcoming and grabbing the audience's attention. Then I would go into a taksim to show my versatility and my emotional transition. And then after that, I would go into a lively drum solo. And each piece would probably be about, 3 minutes and change. And that's how I would balance it out.
Gotcha. And how much, initial whiz-bang sparkle do you think you need? And do you think that's different for a competition versus, say, a birthday party?
I think it's the same intention, but again, since you're at a competition and you want to reach the people up in the balcony, I think your movements will be bigger and your expression will be a little bigger, But the big bang sparkle, like the intention should still be the same.
Gotcha.
I feel.
Another thing that I think I had trouble, and I'm talking about myself a lot, but I'm assuming other people have some of these same dilemmas. Another thing that I had a little bit of trouble working out when I was planning my stuff was that, I was very much trained to be entertaining rather than impressive. And when I got into the, oh my God, people are judging me mode, I kind of felt like I needed to do more impressive stuff and impress the judges. And I think that was a way that I really undermined my own style when I was subject to that. Because of this, you're being judged on your technique. And if your technique is clean but not impressive, are you going to get marked as high as if it's, Right. And so do you have any sense of how judges actually do that?
Okay. And what the judges are actually looking for? Okay.
Right.
Well, first and foremost, here I'm reading a score sheet that I have from a competition I judged. And this is exactly what the judges are looking for. They're looking for appearance. How do you look? Are you wearing the correct costume based on the style that you're executing? Poise, how you're carrying yourself. Yeah, we know as judges, the first 5 seconds, if that dancer is it, we can just tell how that dancer comes onto the stage, right? Your danceability, how clean is your technique? I mean, you don't have to have unbelievable technique, but what you're executing has to be clean and great and precise. Are you giving personality? You need to let, Nadira shine through, yeah? Bring something to the table, yeah? And then this also comes along with originality. Right? Sometimes doing that same step to that rhythm, you don't have to. You can try something else. Or you can try something different musically, maybe. And also music interpretation, how you interpret that music. So those are what the judges are looking for. So I'll just repeat them again. Appearance, poise, danceability, personality, originality, and music interpretation. And I know that's a lot. But I would say the one thing that is incredibly important, and a judge came up to me in 2007, and she wasn't supposed to because you're not supposed to speak to the contestants, but she told me this. She goes, the reason why you won, and I'm telling you this because I am writing a book about judging and competitions. That's what she said. I'm not going to give you her name. The reason why you won is because you had passion. That's what made me win. Everybody was amazing. I didn't know I was going to win, to be honest with you. There was this young lady named Rachel George who was amazing, and I'm sure you know her or people on the call will know her. Amazing technique, and as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, she won. Totally. I was flabbergasted that I won. I couldn't believe it. And there you go. And I don't have technique like she does. She's got amazing abs, amazing body. Who knew I'd win, this short brown girl from the East Coast, So there you go. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Are there any other factors that you think go into a winning routine besides the factors that you just mentioned?
Okay. So I said passion. Second is versatility. Yeah. So, like I said, your performance skills always outweigh your technique, I feel. And when I say versatility, show a complete performance, which includes an intro, a taksim, and a drum solo. Now, if you only have 5 minutes to compete, of course you can't do all 3, right? So I would say the intro and the drum solo are the most important. Another tip is, it's a sort of unspoken rule, but using props is really important, because let's say it's a tie between 2 contestants and one used props and one didn't. The one who used props will always win. So the props that are, I would say, important to use are veil and zills, and use them well. And continuing with the versatility, again, make sure that along with that, your emotional transitions are really, really good. So transitioning from a middle or medium tempo into a slow, into, of course, fast, into a drum solo. That's all important. Yeah, those transitions. Musically, how your music is edited from piece to piece. Emotionally, how you transition from piece to piece. Dance your transitions. That's really important instead of just standing there. Or dance a prop off your body. Dance the zills off your hands. Do you know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll just clarify. For example, when I danced my zills off my hands, I would do a Maya and discreetly take my zills off my fingertips and place them quietly on the floor. And I emphasize quietly. So those are some tips. I hope that helps.
Those are excellent tips. All right. So how do you recommend that people go about preparing for a competition? Let's say that they've just signed up, and they've got 3 months or 6 months. Do you recommend any particular activities or methods?
Practice, practice, practice. I feel begin preparing at least 4 to 6 months before. Okay. Know your choreography. Judges know when you are improvising, because for a dancer who improvises, there's always a default move that they go to, yeah? We know that's happening. Judges know that's happening. Judges also know you're improvising when you don't hit really important accents in the music. So if you are a die-hard improviser, which is awesome, and I wish I could do that, have it be at least a structured improv. Know where your accents are so you hit them. Yeah? Yeah, and just keep practicing each piece, or if it's one piece or 3 little pieces, keep practicing. Get your stamina up. Keep smiling. Another thing that I did to help prepare is I got a coach. And I did not get a belly dance coach, believe it or not, because I didn't feel like I needed my technique to be looked at. I actually hired an acting coach 2 times, and it really, really, really helped me. And what she told me that was, to me, was brilliant. The people who are listening out there who are teachers, we all know that the hardest class to teach is a beginner class. And because in a beginner class, you really need to emphasize and exaggerate so your beginner students really can see the movement and see what you mean. So when you're dancing, you need to dance with your eyes, like when you teach with your eyes. When you're looking in the mirror at a student or you're looking at them, your eyes are talking as well. So when you're competing and when you're doing your piece, you need to teach the audience your choreography. And that was brilliant for me. And because that forced me to dance big, that forced me to have eye contact with the audience, eye contact with the judges. That, along with, if you can't get a coach, film yourself, critique yourself, videotape, yeah, whatever works for you. Play it back. Watch your facial expressions. Yeah, are you looking down? Are you looking up too much? Are your eyes bugging out? Are you not smiling enough? So that's what I feel. Those are other tips and strategies to help prepare.
Gotcha. And do you have any recommendations around playing to your strengths? You've given us this great formula, but let's say that somebody is really kick-ass with zills and only good enough at drum solos. Should they still be shooting for the drum solo because they need that upbeat piece?
Absolutely, because it shows versatility. So if you're not very strong in a drum solo, then keep it simple. Less is more. When I was judging at Belly Dancer of the Year, I've been judging for the past 5 years, and people just do too much. It's like, slow down, you know? Even in a pause, in a piece of music, dance your pause. Like, there's a lot to be said with resonance within your body. I hope I'm explaining myself right, but it's one thing to do a movement and stop the energy. It's another thing to resonate, to do a movement and continue the energy out through your fingertips or up through your head. Yeah, that's what I mean by when there's pause, you keep moving. Yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, if I can step just a little bit off of the topics that we discussed already, are there any really common mistakes that you've seen dancers make when you are judging them?
Let's see, common mistakes. Not choreographing, because again, they don't hit the accents. Yes, when something is too hard, too challenging for them, they stop smiling. Oh, that happens all the time. They either stop smiling and or look down. Yeah? So even if you feel like you screw up, keep that eye contact with the judges and with the audience. So that's a common mistake that people make when competing.
Mm-hmm. I see that in class with students a lot. It's like the floor doesn't not have the answer.
Right. Yeah, feel secure, feel confident, Show it off.
And I guess if you're not feeling secure as you're preparing, then you probably need to change what you're doing.
Yeah, changing what you're doing, yeah. Maybe opt out, wait for the next year, yeah, or something. Mm-hmm. Or not.
Well, all right. And do you have any other tips or strategies that you recommend when folks are competing?
Let me see. Let me just think. No, I think that's it. It's just practice. Make sure you iron your veil. It's very important. We see that. Make sure you wear enough makeup. Again, if you're on stage, you want to make sure the balcony can see that you have lipstick on. What else? I said dance big. Perform in a style that works for you. To be honest with you, from the competitions that I've judged, it always seemed, and I'm just being straight up with everybody, it always seems that the default style tends to be Egyptian, or the default formula tends to be what I told you, the medium pace song, Taksim, and drum solo. Now, Ahava of California, she won one year, and she totally did something totally different. She did a Fifi Abdu garb, and she simulated sort of her style. She was very, very shabby and old style, and she totally went way off the formula, and she actually ended her competition by sitting on the stage. And I was like, wow. But you know why she won? Because she was great. She was great at it. She did it, and she had conviction, and she did it well. Mm-hmm. So that's one time where not doing the formula worked.
Gotcha.
Other than that, so I think that goes with do what you do well. Make sure your music is professionally edited or edited well. There's not too much pause between songs. Make sure the quality of music is good. I've also noticed with competitors that when they have two songs and they have and one of the songs is way long and just the style is way long, it gets a little boring. You need to change it up a little bit. So I guess keep it interesting. Have the audience wanting more, Like I said, less is more. And you don't have to do the full 10 minutes, that some competitions will allow you to perform. Do 8 minutes, if you feel like 8 minutes stamina-wise is good for you, then do that. Then you'll do it well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's say the competition's over and maybe you won, maybe you didn't. You met a whole bunch of people and collected some business cards. Is there anything that you recommend that people do afterwards to make the most out of the experience?
Yeah, totally. Contact your fellow competitors. Say it was great. It was great. Competing with you guys. You all did great. Connect with them on Facebook. Keep the conversation going. You never know if a workshop may come out of it. Thank the producer of the event. You never know what could happen with that. Be kind, be positive. Study your feedback that you've gotten. Yeah. Sometimes even to continue with feedback and the critiques, sometimes, you're kind of like you're lost because one judge, for example, may say, you moved a little too much on stage, and the other judge might say, you didn't move enough. So what do you do with that? I guess nothing, right? So there's nothing you can do. You just have to make sure you feel good with what you did.
Mhm. That actually happened to me once.
There
was a panel of 5 judges, and 4 of them liked me. One of them hated me.
Yeah.
But I think that was a
me
stylistic
too.
thing. There was, the owner of one of the Arabic clubs was there, and I danced to Turkish music. So that's my guess.
Right. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Same with me.
Making sense out of it is tough.
Totally.
The kind of lesson I took away from that is that it's all useful feedback, but you have to decide what you value.
Exactly.
It's okay to disagree.
Right. And another thing is be careful of going back to the same competition over and over again. Sometimes it's like, oh, you're here again, which is awesome. But I think like more than 3 times, yeah, all right, you did it. Just my feeling, and also if you're going to come back, show something new. Don't do the same thing.
Gotcha.
Don't do the same choreography or the same song.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure what the etiquette around this is, but is it appropriate to thank the judges after the fact? I know that you're not supposed to speak to, but
yeah, but once it's done, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I think
give it like 2 or 3 days. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think one of the interesting things too is that we've talked about getting feedback as being one of the big benefits, and in some cases the judges are some pretty famous people that might be hard to actually get personal help from too. So
yeah, exactly.
In a lot of ways, that's a nice way to make contact and get some feedback from somebody of that stature.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that is coming to the end of my list of questions. Was there anything else you'd like to tell people about competitions that I haven't asked you about?
Let me see. I actually wrote some notes here. Yeah, I would. What people have told me in the past what they liked about my performances in a competition was because I used the stage in a drum solo. I actually traveled around. So again, bringing something a little bit new to the table and not standing still in a drum solo, which is particularly very much Egyptian style. Again, if you can do it well, bring something a little bit new and travel around for a portion of it. Use the space. Don't show that you're a restaurant dancer, Show that you can be on a stage and own it. And I'm just seeing what else I wrote here. Performance editing, change music. I think that was one big thing that people have told me. And again, not everybody liked me, but I think also what really helped was me traveling to a new place, and people didn't know who I was, and they saw a different sort of style. So that also helps.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. So if you're listening on the webcast and you'd like to ask Oreet a question or share a comment with us, then you can type that in the little box on the left-hand side of your screen. If you are on the phone, you can press *2 to raise your hand, and that's *2 on your phone handset or *2 on your Skype keypad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then while we're waiting for the questions, I'd like to ask, this is my favorite question for all the Clubhouse calls, and that's that, if our listeners take one thing away from this call, what would you want that to be?
One thing, I actually wrote down, it's not going to be one, it's going to be 3.
That's okay.
Sorry, not one thing, I can't. And the 3 things are passion, structure your improv, and give a complete performance. Those are the 3 things that I think that you take away from this. Gotcha. Yeah.
I think those are pretty good guidelines for any performance, too. So even if you're not in competitions, that's a good lesson to take away.
Right. And if I may add, I know some, I know also how did competitions help me? It actually, because I know we didn't get into that, I got many workshops from it, to tell the truth. And as you know, since, I'm the founder of the Belly Dance Workout, and I'm in both the fitness world and the dance world, it has helped me incredibly, even in the fitness world. It's actually made me more credible to other people because I'm an awarded dancer.
Gotcha.
So that's the way
it's not just me saying that I know what I'm talking about. It's
exactly. It's
an external credential.
Exactly. And also I feel that it helped me become a Rakasa teacher. So, yeah. And also, when do you stop? When do you stop competing? I stopped once I got a gig at Rakasa. Then pretty much you're teaching now and you're presenting at a really credible, reputable conference. And, maybe I guess I'm not considered amateur anymore. So you got to know when to stop, too. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a stature and etiquette thing.
I guess so. Right.
Interesting.
Okay. And as far as awards, at competitions you either get a monetary award, a trophy, or both, and then a possible judging gig for the year after, or a workshop spot the year after. So there's a lot of benefits after you win, too.
Gotcha. Excellent. Okay, well, I don't see any questions coming in. We did have a couple of folks who sent in questions in advance in the Belly Dance Geek Facebook group, but I'm looking over those, and it looks like we've actually answered those already during the interview.
Okay.
So Claudia, Amity, and Saida, it sounds like we've covered that, but if not, you can jump back into the Facebook group and we can talk later on. And I will make this last call. So if you're on the webcast, you can type in your question at left. And if you're on the phone, you can press *2 to raise your hand. While we're waiting, I will just say a few things about the Clubhouse. So, we're coming to the end of our call, but I do want to make it clear that the conversation is not over. We've got a private Facebook group just for Clubhouse members, and when I send out the show notes, I'll include an invitation. So if you'd like to keep talking about competitions and what your plans are, we'd love to hear that. When I send out that email, I'll also include a link to the call recording, as well as a link where I'll ask you for your feedback. I run the Belly Dance Geek Clubhouse, but it's for all of us, so I'm very interested in seeing what topics you'd like to cover, what speakers you'd like to hear from, and any other improvements that I can make on the program. So once that goes out, don't be shy about letting me know what you think. Okay, and I'm not seeing any questions, so I think we will call that a night. So thank you so much, Oreet.
Absolutely. May I just add one more thing?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, I just want to, for the people who are on the call, I wanted to offer a promotional rate for my workshops in New York City coming up on November 25th. I'm teaching a SharQui, the belly dance workout class, as well as a modern melody class. It's a choreography workshop. It's Monday the 25th from 6 to 7. That's the SharQui workout class. And then from 7 to 9 is the Modern Bellady choreography class. And offering $5 off for the Bellady class and $3 off for the workout class. And I believe Nadira is going to be forwarding you that link for that promo link. And those of you who haven't done their Christmas shopping or Hanukkah shopping or whatever type of shopping, I am selling my DVDs, and 10% of the sale goes to Girl Rocks, and it's to help promote better body image for young girls of color here in California. They offer here a school for young girls, and it's totally awesome. So that promo is, just go to sharqui.com/holiday promo. One DVD is $20. 2 DVDs is $35. Again, 10% goes to this organization, and you get free shipping. So what a bang for your buck.
That is a really great organization, and I just want to recommend Oreet's DVDs to all of you. So these are the SharQui workout DVDs, and I found them really helpful as I've been working back up to my full endurance after being down with an injury for a bit. So, even if you're already out there dancing, it's a really great way to get in some good practice and a great workout, even if you've already got some experience. So now, how can folks go about getting those promotions? I will send out the links after the call. But if anyone's listening right now and wants to snag it, what should they do?
Okay, so just for the New York City classes, just go to the Eventbrite page. It's SharQuiWorkoutPromo.eventbrite.com or modernbelladypromo.eventbrite.com. That's Bellady spelled BELEDI. And again, for the DVDs, it's SharQui.com/holiday promo.
Excellent. And how long is that holiday discount going to last?
Probably up until a few days after January 1.
Okay, great. Excellent.
Yeah.
So I hope all of you folks check that out. All right. So I think we are done. So our next call will be held in the second week of December. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet because we're still working on the scheduling. But the last thing I'd like to say is that the clubhouse is the come on in kind of clubhouse, not the no boys allowed kind. So if you know anybody who would enjoy these calls, please invite them to join us. They can do that at bellydancegeek.com/clubhouse. And until next time, happy dancing. Thank you so much, Oreet.
Thank you.
All right, and good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening. For more geek-tacular resources, visit bellydance.geek.com.